So today we're going to do something that's completely free on the motorcycle. I have a Triumph Street Triple 765 RS. You might have something a little different, but they're all basically the same. They're all basically put on the same. So what we're going to do today is we are going to remove the rear seat pegs. This is for the companion in the back, or the pillion in the back. My wife has ridden this one time, on the back one time, and she doesn't really have a desire to do it all the time, and it's okay because I don't really like people on the back. So I always ride with the cowl back there and not the seat. So this piece comes off and you can have the seat. But we are going to go ahead and take this thing apart and take those rear pegs off, and hopefully just streamline this a lot so I don't have this ugly thing hanging down. It's going to be a nice little arrow here, a little rocket ship. So stay tuned. We're going to do it right after this. Okay guys, thanks for coming back. So the first thing we need to do is we got to get the seat off. And in order to do that, on this bike we need a key. Put the key over here. So we're going to turn that, it's going to pop, and this comes off. So we're going to set this aside, and then we have to, we're going to take this back, and we are going to take the number 5, I believe it is, Allen wrench out of there, and we're going to take the seat off. So got one bolt back here to take the seat off with. And if I haven't told you my story, always make sure you put the seat back on, right? Because when I was like 10, it was in Wyoming visiting my 2 uncles. Had a bunch of land, and went there with my brother and my cousin to see my cousins and my uncles. And we were riding on a mini bike, and got on the mini bike first thing in the morning trying to beat everybody to it. And lo and behold, we didn't put the seat back on because we were all looking under the seat the day before, and I fell over, had a helmet on, hit a rock, and knocked me out for a couple minutes. They were halfway up a road that was like half a mile long before I woke up. But thankfully I had a helmet on, I wasn't hurt, but it was a lesson. So wear a helmet, all the gear, all the time. Okay, so I'm going to bring you in a little closer here, so hold on a second. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I got a tangle of wires here because I've got all kinds of stuff. I've got the Bluetooth thing there, I've got a camera thing here, I've got a thing here for the horn, got a thing here for some lights. There's a little bit of a mess, but I've had to change out the bolts because my bolts were too short to get all these wires crimped on there. This bike really needs like a power station where you can put things on there, like a car would, but there's not a lot of room, so I guess that's why not. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take the battery off. This is going to suck because you're going to have to go in and reset your clock and your date. Reverts back to like 2000 or something. So we're going to go ahead and take the power off here. We're going to move these things out of the way. Put a bolt up there where we can't lose it. We're going to go ahead and take our ground off here. Set this aside. We don't need that for a while. Set our bolt up here. Get these wires out of the way. I'm just going to move this away. I could have shortened these up, but it was going to make getting in here harder, so I have some extra cables hanging around. So it looks kind of like a mess, but it's really not. It's pretty tidy, really. Then we're going to take the strap off the battery, and we're going to put the strap over here so we don't lose it. And when you're pulling this out, be careful that you don't lose the little nuts that are inside the battery. It has some little nuts right there. You don't want to lose them because they are a pain to find. And set that down on the concrete. Does not hurt a battery to sit on concrete. That is a myth and an urban legend. Okay, so right in here you have 2 bolts. Those are number 12 millimeter. Got a little ratchet here, and we're going to put those in. That didn't work. We're going to loosen those up. Loosen those up. You really kind of need a socket to get in there. There's one here, and there's one up here further. Let me move you around so you get a little bit better view. Okay, so I'm going to come on the other side. There's one here and here. So we're going to come in here. I'm going to break this loose. Okay, take that ratchet off and just use the little bit thing there. I'm going to hold on to the outside of here. bolt. And the bolt. So guys, as you can see, let me take you up. Okay, as you can see, that's all there is. There's two little bolts go through here. Sorry, bolt goes through here. Goes up from the bottom to just a couple holes or a little slot right there. Bolt goes through, and there's a piece that screws into, built into the frame. So that comes off. No more pegs for the rider in the back, but it's okay because I don't. The only thing I ever use this for is to put a GoPro mount on, and like a RAM mount. So one thing I'm thinking of is trying to find some way to put a little bracket down on the side, just a small little tiny bracket, so I can hook a RAM mount up to that. So I'm going to try that out and see how that goes. Maybe it'd be a good idea. So I got this one off. We're going to go ahead and take the other one off, and I'll be right back in a second. Okay guys, so I got the other side done, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and put these bolts back in here just so if I ever need them to attach the arms back on, the pegs back on, or maybe do like I was saying, put some sort of mount there. I can find these, so I'm going to be looking for these particular bolts. So it doesn't hurt to go ahead and just store them on the bike, so you know where they're at. And all you got to do is keep up with the pegs, because they don't bolt into the pegs, so they could get lost pretty easily once you attach them to them, so you don't lose them, which is an option. Okay, so those are nice and tight. We're gonna go ahead and put the battery back in. Okay, we're putting the battery back in. You're gonna do the same thing. Make sure your strap is attached. Just get a hold of it, because once you put the battery in there and it comes loose, you got to take the battery back out. Watch those nuts inside there so they don't come loose. Make sure that you don't have any cables in the way that you need to get to. Then we're going to take the strap, come over here and attach it nice and tight. Then all we got to do is put our cables back in. So I'll put my cables here. Got a few of them. Got a red one here, red one here. Maybe this little one just slips in here. These are normally a Phillips head, but I've changed them out to a 10mm socket head. So I'm just gonna make sure they're nice and snug, so don't come loose and you get a bad connection. And then put a cap back on our inline fuse, and then put this one here. This one here. Just gonna have to thread these in. This is a little bit of a pain, getting these wires in, but this is pretty easy. I've been working on this about 5 minutes now, maybe. So harder to find the stupid hole than it is anything else. And that little nut has maneuvered its way into a different position, because that's my life. So I'm going to grab a little screwdriver. I'm going to get a little screwdriver and see if I can flip it back over. Now, how the hell did that flip? There. I barely moved this battery around. Managed to flip over. Okay, so that's why I couldn't get it started. Put these back in here. Ooh, did you hear that? A little sizzle. Be careful. It's only 12 volts, it isn't going to hurt you. And we're going to hook this back up. Everything I have on here, if you see wires here, they're running through a relay. The only thing that's not hooked to the relay is this right here, which is the battery tender. And I have a little USB charger on the what do you call them? Handlebars. And that's on the switch. So like right now it's charging my phones, and it's doing that so that I can do it if the bike's off. You just have to remember to turn it off. But normally, like I drove home today trying to charge my phones, and I forgot to turn it on. So I usually forget to turn it on. Everything else is going through some sort of relay, so there's only power when the bike's turned on by the key. So I got that. Now we're just going to tuck our wires in, nice and tidy. So they look okay. Nothing's going to be pinched. There's a place for everything, but there's not much room. Every time you add some sort of doohickey, it gets in the way. So now we're going to put the seat back on. Just going to make sure you clip this in, get these little wings and these little holes here, push down and forward. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but once again, I might have told you before, nothing is worse than that 2005 Honda Shadow I had. That seat was horrible. And my Scrambler, my Triumph Scrambler was pretty tough. Because they're in the back and they're really hard to get to. I even bought some kind of aftermarket, like little handle things, but they sucked and they tore up the seat no matter what you did. So get that in there. Make sure it's seated, clicked in. The last thing you want to do is have the seat fall off the bike while you're sitting on it, going 100 miles an hour. Not that I go 100 miles an hour, but if you were going to go 100 miles an hour, or 5 miles an hour, like when I was 10. Got that in there. Okay. Snug her down a little bit. We get our tools out of the back. Gonna put our little thing back in our seat, a little holder here. Came with some more stuff, but I don't know where they've all gone to. This is the only one I really need. I'm gonna click that back in. And that's it. Voila, we're done. And I'm going to take you for a little look around. You can get an idea what it looks like, and then you know how to do a mod that only cost $0 and lasted a little while. So give me 1 second. So there we go. So now we have a nice clean line. You know, I already had the tail tidy put on. That's an Evotech tail tidy, and they do make. They make a little blanking plate for this, which I may buy. Evotech makes one, and it has basically it's a flat plate that's sort of contoured to match this. Kind of rolls up a little bit. It's got two things on there, two little tabs, and they go up, and you bolt them in. And I thought about putting a blanking plate there, and then being able to put like a ram mount right here underneath of it, so I can put a ram ball or whatever out from that way. But all in all, I think that looks pretty good. There you go. Here's the other side. So really cleans it up. So you got your line, you got your tire around here, and you just got this sort of horizontal line going up, and you don't have any more doohickeys hanging down. And I really like the way that came out. Really cleaned up the bike a lot. I think it looks much better. And that's it, guys. Thanks for checking me out. Please hit like and subscribe down there. Subscribe is most important. Hit that little bell and you can find out when I got new videos coming out. Sometimes they come out a lot, and sometimes they come out sparsely, but usually they come out a lot. I'm always doing something, whether it's to the bike or to the Jeep or to something else. Please check out both my channels. There's Evolving Male, and then there's Squid Moto by Evolving Male. Squid Moto is dedicated to motorcycle stuff, whereas Evolving Male has motorcycle and it has the Jeep stuff and anything else I choose to do. Sometimes it's working on other people's cars or whatever, or jumping in the lakes. So I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for checking me out. Please check me out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Evolving Male. And as always, guys, leave some comments and peace out.